Now here's a little story that every girl should know, and then there'll be no doubt about which way to go. Go Delta. 'Cause it's so doggone fine. So come right along.
I love you all my line sisters. This is a beautiful weekend for love, celebration, and bonding.
I can't believe that 35 years ago we were the new Deltas on the yard, and now we're the old heads. So it went by fast, really fast.
Very fabulous.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. So happy anniversary, Line Sisters, 35th.
I'm so happy to be here with all of my beautiful line sisters, and I'm happy to be on this wonderful, wonderful campus. And I am just so glad that I am here to celebrate and have a wonderful time.
I believe that we are blessed beyond what you can ever measure, that God chose each one of us for this specific reason of giving a gift to the other ones. I love you. Happy 35th!
It's just an awesome experience. I have 52 line sisters. 2 have gone, but my other line sisters, they're always there for each and every one of us. I think the biggest blessing is that how we support each other, and when we need each other, we're there for each other.
It was an honor. It's a little scary also, because I know there are a lot of responsibilities of being number one. But I think I stepped up to the challenge, and I just enjoyed it, because I always had the support of my line sisters.
I think it was my freshman year, and I was living in the Quad on 4th Street, freshman dorm, and the Deltas had come together, and they were doing their sisterhood thing, and they just empowered womanhood to me, and sisterhood, and love, and sophistication, and I'd say intelligence.
To be honest, I didn't know that much about Greek life, and I didn't have other Greeks in my family. So when I came on campus, I didn't know anything. I didn't know the colors, I didn't know what they stood for, I didn't know anything about it.
I was familiar a bit with fraternities and sororities because of brothers and sisters previously. But my first year here, I met a lot of great Deltas in my freshman year. But it was also about the work that they were doing. To me, they were more visible on campus. I understood what they were doing, and I'm about service, and the things that I saw being advertised about them was related to service. And so for me, that was a big deal.
So I always knew I wanted to be a Delta. And when I got to Howard and I saw the Deltas on the campus, I wasn't disappointed. So I always knew I wanted to be that. My mom was a Delta, but she wasn't the type of woman who pushed me to do it. I just observed it. And I never really asked her too many questions about it, but I just always knew it was something I wanted to do. And as far as prestige, what I thought about Delta was it was a community service organization, and it was sisters. You know, I didn't know it was prestigious. It was just a community, something I wanted to be a part of.
Sisterhood meant it was all, I was raised with sisters, and there's an organization of sisters that works for being put forth in the community. And I saw that, and I knew that because it was really clear. And, you know, people were caring about other people through their works. And I saw that with this organization, and they go to the hospitals, you know, and it was really clear.
Having grown up in a college town, Philadelphia, there are many universities, Temple, University of Penn, and you saw all these hazing stories in the news, and I would say, who would be foolish enough to join a sorority? But having come to Howard and seeing the Deltas, how to change your heart.
Well, I love Howard University, and this is where Delta Sigma Theta started. So when I came to college, I had decided that I had wanted to become a Delta. It means a lot to me.
You know, God gives us the family that we can either be born into or the family that we can choose. This family was chosen for me.
When I think about it, I think about how perfect God's plan is, that out of all the people in the world that he could have connected us with, that his plan was so perfect that with precision, he picked out 53 of us to put together 35 years ago. And he knew then that we would be here today making this video with you in celebration and recognition of his grace, his mercy, our love for one another. And I'm just thankful for that.
Pretty much at that point in my life, I felt like anything I went out for that I achieved, so that was another milestone, a big milestone, because I knew it was very competitive.
I saw the Deltas who were on campus at Howard, and there were quite a few of them, but 53 total to me seemed like it equaled all the Deltas I had ever seen before. So I knew that this was a phenomenal situation. And I didn't know all of the reasons why we were such a large line at that time. It didn't matter. I knew I was a part of it. I was happy to be a part of it. And when I opened that letter, I fell out. It was one of the most happiest days in my life. Becoming a Delta, or first getting the information I was going to be one, the opportunity to be one, is still one of the best experiences I think I've ever had in my life.
We got word that the letters had come out, and when we walked back into the hall of the quad, you know, there was just this buzz, and I was so excited. And then I opened my letter, and it was just an amazing, amazing time. So I was really, really pleased. It was great.
When we got them, we kind of all got them around the same time. So depending on what dorm you were in, you heard this big whoop go throughout the dorms. And so you were like, you know. And so when I got my letter, of course, I was very excited, because when I went to Rush, I did see that there were a number of girls. They seemed to be a lot more informed. They seem to have a lot more connections with the Deltas on the campus. But you know, it was an opportunity, and they were very welcoming and open during the Rush process.
You know, a whole lot of people go out, and especially out of HBCU, so a whole lot of people go out. So when you get that letter and you find out that you made it, it's just like the best day ever. So 52 line sisters, that's what we got. We're gonna make it work.
I walked into a room, somebody's dormitory room, and it was all these women in there. I'm sure my eyes got this big. And so it was a little intimidating, because you have to say, how in the world 53 women are gonna get together and make this work?
Because I don't have any sisters, I was always thrilled about having sisters. So the size of the line didn't dawn on me. I know it was something to see when we were all in one room. I was like, whoa, you know, and then to see us walk across campus, it was just, whoa, you know, so, and every time we walked someplace, everybody was looking at us.
53, you would have thought, you know, it would be impersonal, but it wasn't that way at all. And we're still really close after all this time. You know, years can go by and we have not seen each other, but we see each other, and it's just like yesterday, you know. It's truly a sisterhood.
I think my most memorable, I have many, but the one that comes to mind is because we had to share everything. We had to share orange, and there were 53 of us. And number 1 had to have some, and number 53 had to have some too.
I knew it was a lot, but I knew that we were selected to be together. And I think it was 53 that started and 53 that finished, which is a testament not only to our line, but also to the big sisters who pledged us.
Well, of course, we had a strong presence on campus. There were so many of us that we commanded a lot of attention. We got to know each other. We got to spend a lot of time together in small quarters. So it was quite eventful. But because there were so many of us, we gained a lot more sisterhood, a lot more love, and a lot more relationships than most other lines.
I think all the relationships that we've continued to develop, even after we left Howard, it's just been amazing to know that I can call any one of my line sisters and get support, get advice, or be a support, or provide advice. It's just been amazing how connected we have remained since graduating.
Alpha Chapter evokes a feeling of pride, and I think there is no greater love than Alpha Chapter, and I think that women who belong to Delta and are made in Alpha Chapter have a different level of commitment and pride and satisfaction in knowing that we are creating a legacy that started, you know, many, many years ago, and we have a responsibility to make sure that Alpha Chapter stands and stands proud, and that no matter where we come from, we are going to always be able to say that we were made at Alpha Chapter.
It's just a different bond. Well, you could go anywhere and you see people from Alpha Chapter and it's like an instant link. And even if you're with other Greeks, it's just the same. When you say you went to Howard and you're Alpha Chapter, you're number one. It's the Mecca.
In terms of women's rights, suffrage, it was Alpha Chapter that started it all. And that legacy of, servant leadership, which is a piece that I hold dear in my heart in terms of how I attempt to do my job and be that professional in the world.
They wanted to have an active interest in helping people to understand issues and to be stronger and to be better as a race. And they marched in a women's suffrage march with other women, white women. They were asked to march in the back and they said no. They were asked not to march and they said no. The white women were spit on. So how much more were our Black founders spit on? But they believed that they needed to make a change.
It didn't really hit me until I go other places and other people say, oh, you were at Alpha Chapter, you pledged Alpha Chapter because Alpha Chapter is where it started. But for me, it's home. It's home. So I don't even really think about it in that way. But it does mean a lot. It does.
Well, I think Alpha Chapter has always been really special, being the first. And I think the first is always really important and thrilling. So being at Howard and being a part of an organization that started at Howard was really special.
For me, I grew up in a very small town in Pennsylvania. I was the only African American in my graduating class. So the feeling of isolation through your high school years is something. So coming to Howard University was an amazing experience for me. And then to realize that this organization was founded at Howard University just makes it extra special.
So I pledged Lambda Iota. I pledged at another, I didn't pledge Alpha Chapter. So the numbers didn't mean, it was only 9 of us. But we were a citywide chapter. So the challenge was I was pledging with women from other colleges as well. So these were women I did not know. The women I pledged with that went to Brown with me, I knew. The women from the other colleges, I did not know. So that was interesting. That was different.
But I'm just really proud of our line, just really proud. Our line's phenomenal. The women that pledged with me, invariably just moving and shaking and really not only helping Delta, but just doing it in their communities.
And then such a diverse group of women, smart women, judges, doctors, lawyers, business women, living all over the country, traveled all over the world. Yeah, we're pretty special.
I think Fortuitous is special at Alpha Chapter because to me it demonstrated the integrity of the Alpha Chapter sorors at that time. They didn't have to have 53 people on their line. They could have gone ahead and made compromises to their beliefs, to their integrity, by just doing a few little things to appease Grand Chapter or National Chapter. But no, They chose to do the extra work, go to the extra trouble in order to bring up 53 women into Delta. They didn't have to do that. And that tells me something about not only our line, who have grown into some very dedicated and thorough Deltas, but about the sorors at that time who pledged us. So I think that was very special about Fortuitous.
I believe my line can do anything. I believe that I've seen our collective energy, I've seen our collective power, I've seen our collective talent move the needle on a lot of things. Anything we set our mind to, any goal we set, we attain it.
Being at Howard, I guess you never really, at least for me, I never knew how big that was until, it didn't really dawn on me actually until Centennial. January 13th in 1913 was when Delta actually was started, and so many sorors were there, and they just had so much respect for Alpha Chapter. They couldn't we were walking around, they were like, "You were at Alpha Chapter? You actually pledged here at Howard?" And I guess I never even thought about it. You kind of take it for granted and figure, oh, it's no big deal. But so many sorors have so much respect for Alpha Chapter because they think about how it just started here. So just being there just kind of brought it home to me about how folks really feel about Alpha Chapter. So it was just a great, great feeling.
I think when you are in it, you don't see it, because I think it's a campus, just like any other campus. You happen to be on Howard's campus, and I don't think that you think about it all the time. Some think that you think you're better than them because you pledged an Alpha Chapter, and other people are in awe of you because you pledged an Alpha Chapter. But the truth is, you carry a responsibility that other people do not, because you walked on the campus where the founders did. So to those that much is given, much is expected.
Again, I didn't know what the significance was when I first got online, but over the years, just to know that you're walking the ground where the first 22 women were, and keeping it going, and the traditions of community service and what we're all about, and it just makes it even more special that you were at Howard and able to follow their path.
Then I started to really understand it wasn't just about fun. It wasn't just about the sisterhood, but truly being an instrument to mankind.
To just know our personal stories and how we all came to Delta and how we even came together as a line, I think lifted each of us. And we've lost 2 line sisters along the way, and we remember them and honor them every day with the work that we do and the strides that we make.
Change is never easy for human beings. But the key was, how do you get them to connect with one another and put their own personal goals on the back burner and look at the group goals? Oh my God, they have enriched my life to see where they started from and now where they are, and to see the bond that is forever, it's ongoing, and how well they connect with each other and truly not just say that they love each other, but they demonstrate that they love each other. And that makes all the difference in the world.
Do you love dear Delta? Do you love dear Delta? Do you love dear Delta? Oh yes, oh yes. Do you love dear Delta? Yes, yes. Do you love dear Delta? I wanna know. Do you love dear Delta? Oh yes, oh yes. Do you love Alpha Chapter? Yes, yes. Do you love Alpha Chapter? I wanna know. Do you love Alpha Chapter? Oh yes, oh yes. None but the word. Yes, yes. None but the worthy. None but the worthy. Oh yes, oh yes. Do you love your sister? Yes, yes. Do you love your sister? I wanna know. Do you love your sisters? Oh yes, oh yes. None but the righteous. Yes, yes. None but the righteous. None but the righteous. Oh yes, oh yes. None but the righteous. Oh yes, oh yes. None but the righteous. Oh yes, oh yes. Pyramids of Delta,
Jermaine Stanyard, Cynthia Pullen, Judy Foster, Ivy Allen, Jennifer Lewis, Karen Morse, Lynette Rosario, Valerie O'Brien, Aquanita Harvey, Beverly Richardson, Lori Fentress, Yvonne Coker, Tanya Russell, Anita Richardson, Monique Bowman, Sharon Seneca Dreyer, Angela Dawson, Marcita Bentley, Kathy Duff, Shelley Williams, Renee Hall, Alicia Swan, Pam Collier, Kim Jordan, Tracy Webb, April Jackson, Denise DeBerry, Patricia King, Vanelle Brown, Don Martin, Vanessa Simmons, Deidre Gilliam, Kathy Tyree, Ray Allen, Cassandra Jackson, Angela Twitty, Ann Giddings, Michelle Bruton, Doretha Robinson, Renita Douglas, Sandra Davy, Pam Lewis, Cheryl Taylor, Sharon Denson, Tanya Gaucher, Kim Parker, Lisa Curtis, Harriet Cole, Nkrumah Johnson, Kathy Shepard, Mary Martin, Marielle Haywood, Carla Brisbane.
You've got to follow your